This is Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. Please consider this your vitamin or supplement for your mind. And wherever you download podcasts, would you please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom and leave a brief rating and a brief written review? It would be very, very helpful. And please tell your friends about Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom. Now, I don't know when it is that you're listening to this podcast, but when I recorded it, it is slightly past the halfway point in the year. But in reality, you can do this checkup at any time. Now, at the beginning of the year, I set some goals for myself for this year. I set them professionally, personally, spiritually, financially, health-wise, and then I began to break them down, and these were the things that I dedicated myself to see happen in the new year. And though I check in and evaluate and think about it weekly, monthly, and quarterly, there's a good time at the halfway point to just say, where are we? Am I making progress? Last evening, as I came back into Indianapolis from being outside of town, I came back late at night, and to get to where I live, I drove by that darkened street. It's 16th Street in Indianapolis, and I drove by the largest sporting venue in the world, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, that we have been told can hold over 300,000 people in the track. And as I was going down the road past the speedway, I thought of the pit crew, the driver, throughout the race, if they want to win the race, have to kind of check where they are. They do pit stops. They just sort of evaluate if we're going to win and how far do we need to be. And I got to thinking, we're in a race as well through this year. And so whether this is the halfway point or 10% or wherever it is when you're listening to it, you need to step back and evaluate to see what kind of progress you're doing. So at the halfway point, the very first thing you need to do is check your goals. What did you say you were going to attempt or accomplish? Now, if you say, I didn't set any goals, then you just need to check, and you probably have met all of them if you don't have any. But check where you are. One of the reasons that I like to check them is I want to know, am I progressing? Am I ahead? Am I right on schedule? And am I behind? And as I took some time a couple of days ago and began to evaluate all of that, all that I just said was true. There was one or two of the things that I wanted to accomplish this year that I'm actually slightly ahead. There was a couple of things that I am behind in, and so I tried to evaluate that and what do I need to do. And there's some that are going to be okay. But you need to know that. You can kind of think you know, but every once in a while just go over those goals. That's why I like writing them out continually throughout the year, because they get emblazoned in our mind and heart. So just check your goals. Where are you? Are you on target or are you not? The second thing that I think we need to evaluate at the halfway point is our momentum. How are we building momentum? Once you replace bad habits with good ones, or once you institute a new mini habit in a certain area, you've been at it long enough when you're at the 6-month mark or so, where the momentum begins to carry you. In the early days of trying to establish new habits and new patterns, it's very, very difficult. But by this point, just look at all of the goals and the action steps that you're taking and ask yourself, is momentum being created in my life? Am I experiencing momentum in those areas? You'll feel good about the areas where it's happening. You may need to evaluate, or you should evaluate, where there isn't much momentum. That leads to the third one, in progress. Not only am I kind of there, sort of there, almost there, behind, but what progress? At this point, if you've been working on goals for 4, 5, 6 months, and you've been doing the right correlating actions, then are you seeing the progress you envisioned that you would be seeing? Are you headed the direction that you desired to go? Are you seeing progress? And that's what you need to evaluate at the halfway point. The fourth thing that you do when you're evaluating at this time is what is working. I've already told you that I could look at 2 or 3 of the things that I wanted to accomplish this year, and not bragging, but they're working very well. They're going quite well. So you really need to know what is working. Then the fifth one is going to be a series of 3 questions. What do I need to change? And I have to tell you, a month ago, I realized there were a couple of things that I needed to change. There was one rather lofty goal that I have changed. I have actually erased it and substituted something else. Why is that? Because when I set those goals, I had no idea that I would meet the coach that I have met who has helped me with podcasting. And so by changing didn't mean that I eliminated it, but I found something that I've always wanted to do, just didn't know exactly how to do it. And so I changed. I put my podcasting goals into where that other goal was. So it's okay to change. When you sit down and prayerfully and thoughtfully begin to evaluate where you are and what goals you need to accomplish in the new year or as you move forward, there are some times you're going to figure out as you go along, this really isn't who I am and what I want to do, and you have permission, if you have discovered that, to drop it, stop it, change it, do something else, eliminate it. It's okay. I've told you in the past, it isn't always about the goals or the end line. A lot of it is the process, and once you get a good process going, the process will not only help you know what you need to do, it will also help you know what you need to stop doing. The second question, it's a series of 3 questions under number 5, do I need to change? I ask myself the next question, are there things that I need to do more of? As I see how in certain areas, certain activities really moved me forward. For some of the other goals and for some of the other things that I am trying to accomplish, are there certain activities that I just need to do more of? And I discovered that there were a couple of things that were very, very effective. Because I've now been doing an early morning routine for a few years, I learned that I need to move a couple of other things that I do later in the day, working on goals, professionally and otherwise. I need to do more of those. So I tweaked and moved a couple of other things to the morning routine that I do because I have seen that that morning routine really moves things forward. And so that was what I thought, I need to do more of that. Then the third and final question under number 5 is, what is there that I need to do less of? In other words, there are some things that are not working. They're not moving the needle. They're not helping me progress. I'm spinning my wheels. When I sat down and wrote all of this out several months ago, it seemed like a good idea at the time, but it's not working. And when something's not working, my friends, you have permission today to do these 2 words. Stop it. And so I also looked at my goals and saw there are some things that really aren't as productive and maybe even a little at times counterproductive. So I'm either going to stop them or do less of them. The 6th question I ask as I'm doing this halfway point evaluation of where I am in life is, what were the unexpected problems I encountered? And I have many of them. There were certain things professionally that happened in my responsibilities that I would never have been able to see 5-6 months ago. And they caused some unexpected problems, took some certain amounts of time, created some certain things that had to be taken care of. So yes, there were certain problems. Also, as you lay out and work toward other kinds of activities, there are all kinds of unforeseen events. As I've told you, the opportunity to do podcasting sort of just appeared out of nowhere. Now, I know life doesn't work that way, but that's how it appeared. It was something way in the background that I would like to do, but the opportunity, I met the right people at the right time and went that direction. there are also some unexpected problems, but many times our problems are really opportunities. Our problems help us to evaluate ourselves, to evaluate where we are, to evaluate what we value. If you're a believer, as I am, that problems are also an opportunity to take it to the Lord and get His take on these things. And don't ignore problems, name them. They were unexpected. This is not excuse making. I wasn't able to accomplish this goal because I've had these 3 major problems. That's not what we're talking about. But it just helps us to realize that we can never sit down and write out a perfect plan for what we're going to do in the next extended period of time, because we have no idea what the future is going to hold. There will be, yes, unexpected problems, but I'm also here to tell you there are going to be a lot of unexpected blessings. So be willing to change, be willing to move in another direction. Don't ignore the problems, deal with them, but be aware of how that has impeded or impacted the goals that you have. So take a time to say, what were some of the unexpected problems as well as the unexpected blessings that have come to me? The 7th thing I do after I go through all of this, I look over my goals, including the ones that I'm still working on and some of the new ones. And like I said, I've cast a couple of them away. And then as I look at what is laying there on the paper, what's written on the paper is I recommit myself. I recommit my energy. I recommit myself that these are the things that I'm going to do. These are the things I'm going to be about. Sometimes if you are working on things for a long period of time, you become weary. Life has a way of wearing us down. But if you do some evaluation and take stock in where you are, when you have worked that all out, then just recommit yourself to the goals and recommit yourself to the process. And the 8th and final thing that I do at a halfway point evaluation is I breathe. I've made it this far, and it's wonderful. And I made it through problems that I couldn't even see were on the horizon 5-6 months ago. Breathe. God has taken care of me. It's all worked out. I've been able to accomplish some things. And breathe, because you know that in the next 6 months there will be both unexpected problems and detours, and there will be unexpected blessings. Be thankful. Breathe. You have made it this far. You are a work in progress. You're still working on your goals. Don't give up. Don't throw in the towel. Recommit yourself and take a deep breath. You've been listening to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom. Words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I hope today this has been a vitamin or a supplement for your mind and heart. And wherever you listen to podcasts, please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom. Leave a rating and write a brief review. It would be very helpful. And please tell your friends about Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom. This is Dr. Ron saying to you, leader, recommit to the things you need to be doing. Step back, take a deep breath. You've made it this far. You're going to make it all the way. Remember, leader, you're doing better than you think you are. And until next time, this is Dr. Ron saying have a great and blessed day.